metal grooves in your toolbox, let's take a look at some metal fills. You'll hear these fills or variations of them in metal all the time. Now some of these will be a little bit challenging because they also involve the bass drum. So take them slow and you'll have them in no time. Let's start with the first exercise. Number one is great. It's a super effective fill and yet super simple at the same time. But keep in mind, simple doesn't mean, I can do it all the time. Simple means, okay, maybe I'm not going to stress myself out by having to go around the kit and doing all kinds of crazy things. If you're just going to play a full measure of 16th notes on the snare drum, you have to mean it. You have to totally mean this. It's almost like there's no difference between me playing this fill or you playing this fill or any metal drummer playing this fill as opposed to somebody playing a very simple orchestral role in the orchestra, right? It has to mean something. So if I look at number one and I just see 16th notes on the snare drum, I got to play them like it's like I'm being attacked by machine guns or something, right? So if I look at that, I'm not going to play number one like this, because that sounds like I'm warming up for a marching band, okay? I'm going to play this fill like this. Slight difference, right? So it's all about the attitude and what you put into it. So let's try this with the loop. I'll play one measure of a metal beat into one measure of number one. Fill number two is great because we finally, in this section, get to incorporate the bass drum into our fills, something that a lot of drummers avoid, and I think this is fantastic that you're getting a chance to do this so early on. So what we're going to do, simple eighth notes, okay, going back to eighth notes, and it's unison hands between the floor tom and the snare drum, okay, followed by a bass drum. That's all it is, and we do that 4 times. So we go hands, kick, hands, kick, hands, kick, hands, kick, okay? Play it for you slow without the song, and then we'll do it with the song in a second here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... And as time progresses, work on getting that faster, and it sounds really, really awesome. Okay, so let's put that fill into the loop with a metal beat into this fill. Fill number 3 is another 8th-note metal fill, and this one is also great, one of my personal favorites, because we get to use the bass drum again. But what this is it's 3 singles. It's going to be right on the snare, left on the small tom, right on the floor tom, followed by the bass drum. Right, left, right, kick. 1 and 2 and. We repeat that, 3 and 4, kick. Sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Imagine getting that fast. It's going to sound really super cool. All right, let's try that with 1 measure of the beat into 1 measure of number 3. Number 4 is another great fill that you're probably going to want to use maybe mostly in metal. If you threw a fill like this in pop, you might get a funny look, especially if you played it aggressively. So all this one is 3 limbs in unison. 3 limbs being bass drum, hi-hat, and snare drum. And you're playing all 8 eighth notes, but you're playing everything completely locked in and just making this big and heavy, you know. At some point you can put a build on this, but that's gonna come later. But for now, just trying to lock everything in for 8 hits, for 8 eighth notes is gonna be a big challenge. Let me just show you this, just one measure of number 4, and I'll try to make this heavy and as locked in as possible. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That's a really good practice. It's something you can definitely work on to get that really super solid. A lot of great metal drummers have that dialed in wonderfully. Okay, so let's try this with the loop. Okay, so here we are at number 5, and number 5 is another great one, especially slow, and it's even cooler when you play it fast, but for now, let's take it at a nice slow tempo. All 16th notes, we're back to 16th notes, okay? What's gonna happen for the first 3 beats, for beats 1, 2, and 3, is snare, 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 bass. That's gonna be the lick. Right, left, right, kick, right, left, right, kick, right, left, right, kick, and then we resolve it by going 4E and just 4 snare drums to kind of end it or to sort of resolve that fill. So I'll do it for you really slow without the track, just so you can kind of hear what's going on. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and... Pretty cool. Could be used for an intro, could be used for fills, of course, but I really like this fill. Let's try this with the loop. Here we go. So how did you do? How did you find adding the bass drum into some of those fills? These fills definitely have a unique sound to them. Again, really focus on the sound of each fill. They should have a full and heavy sound and feel to them that lends itself to metal. So your assignment is to work on these 5 examples until you're comfortable with them. Start slow, work with a metronome, and you'll have them in no time at all. I'll see you in the next lesson where we'll look at one more new style, and that's punk music. See you there.